Hello and welcome back to Gunshots for the Queen, where the question being posed to me right now is, when was the last time the Queen hurt you? And it was very recently. I think it was last night. We were like maybe halfway to um, our destination, and she I think she usually doesn't talk to me a whole lot. Like she talks to me more than I would expect a queen to talk to her guard, um, about things that aren't guard related. But I'm not her best friend. She clearly talks to the two of you a lot more than she talks to me. Um, and our conversations, I think, largely reinforced by my demeanor. Our conversations are very much built on the structures of etiquette. We don't usually have frank conversations, and I think last night, um, after dinner, we did. She like called me in, and like I don't get called in for things unless she's like, "Be here so that nobody stabs me," right? Like she doesn't ask me for advice a whole lot. Um, but she called me in uh, to thank me for my dedication, um, and to say that she knows that my job isn't easy, um, even when it seems like it might be. When like a lot of people might assume I just sort of stand around and do nothing, like um, and that to have have attempted to do my job as well as I could in the hardest moments of my sort of adult life meant a lot to her. Um, and so I don't think she didn't intentionally hurt me, but having having made the decisions and done the things that I've done, uh, it did hurt a lot for her to say that to me.
Was it enough to tip you off that you would know that she knows what you're up to?
Uh, no, I don't think she knows.
No, I'm saying she does know. I'm
No,
saying, do
no,
you
no.
know
Like
that she
I
knows?
I don't feel that way. Like my character doesn't think that.
Has this made you reconsider your actions with the upcoming?
I choose not to answer
Yeah.
that question.
Oh,
Fuck off, Lindy. Did we see you, like, afterwards, visibly upset by this?
um, I think you did, Summer. Uh, I think you saw me. Um, oh God, how would I express that?
just say you saw me like this and then make the face.
Yeah, I think you saw me go to the caravan, like still staying within sight of her tent, so I was like still guarding. Um, but I pulled one of the empty like clay jars out of the back of the caravan and just threw it as hard as I could. Like in off into the woods somewhere, and then walked back to my post.
What did you say when I asked you what was wrong?
Ooh. What did I say when you asked me
Because
what was
that's
wrong?
very alarming. Like, A, she doesn't
Yeah.
call you in very often.
Mm-hmm.
B, like, for you to be in that kind of like state leaving the tent.
I think I said it's late and you should go to bed.
Cool. Lindy, do you have any questions?
No, I'm good.
Pretzel Queen? Okay. Here I go. There's a false rumor about you and the queen back at the royal court. What is it? How did it start? That we're blood sisters, I think is the false rumor.
Ooh.
I think that we actually look very similar. And I think that even on parts of this journey, I've stood in as a double for her. Like if we thought it was going to be particularly dangerous, I would dress the way that she would. And she would take my clothes and act as my maid, basically. I think that that's not the first time that's happened. Because there's probably been a couple of times where the queen has had to be in two places at once. And I think that she trusts me implicitly enough that if she's meeting with people who wouldn't know her face exactly, they've maybe just seen her at a distance or, drawings or paintings or whatever, I've stood in for her. And I think that because, she was nursed by my mother, I think that there's a rumor that we're related, that we're sisters. And I think there's another rumor that she is not the rightful heir because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because my mother wasn't any kind of royalty. I think there's a lot of like convoluted rumors surrounding our lineage and like parenthood, like our parenthood, just everything in that arena.
So is the rumor then not that you're the bastard child, but that she is?
Yeah. That like potentially we were twins and the queen couldn't conceive at the time and adopted her. Or that potentially like my mother had an affair with the king. Like there's probably like a hot mess of rumors that are going around. But I think that probably at some point I asked my mother truthfully, like, I would have heard these growing up my entire life. And I trust what she said to me, that we are not related. That I think she was very kind in letting me down easy, that I was not a princess, that kind of thing. She's like, no, sweetie, those are rumors. Those are not true.
What recently made you reconsider that you might actually be sort of the bastard child of the old queen, or the old king, rather?
I think that she has a lot of reasons for bringing me on this journey. But I think that even I was a little bit like confused that she decided, with such a small group of people, decided to bring me along. But I don't think that it's enough. It's not like a lingering thought. Like it probably was like a passing consideration. Like maybe my mother was wrong. Like maybe my mother lied to me, or like maybe whatever, to keep me safe. But yeah, I think it's just kind of odd that she chose to bring me with her. But I'm very good at assuring myself that like my value to her is, legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
How did you respond when I confronted you about these rumors?
I think I laughed. Like just outright like burst into laughter. Like, why would you believe something so foolish? Like, look at me, look at her. That kind of thing. Like, because you know her better than anyone, right? Or maybe.
At least intimately.
Yeah. So.
This is probably before I knew her well.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe like the first time that we were alone together after like one of her meetings or something like
Definitely one of the first times. Like you had stood in for her.
Yeah.
At an occasion, and I thought like maybe it was like a funeral and she had the veil on, and then I thought you were her, and then we got back to the room and I was like, hold on a second.
I was like, please stop trying to kiss me right now. I'm in mourning.
100%.
Just kidding. I don't know who the fuck that guy was. Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it, Lindy.
Oh yeah, it's my turn. Oh no.
Ooh.
Okay, the queen thinks more highly of you than you do of yourself. How do you know this? I think that the queen sees her own compassion and impulsiveness sometimes as a type of a flaw. As I'm a bit more ruthless and cunning when it comes to matters, as I am the 8th child of a duke, I've had to I've had to endure some shit to survive in the royal court and get up to a point to be noticed. And she's mentioned it actually to me, like, oh man, if only, like, when it, like, especially during difficult times, she'd say something offhanded like, well, if you were queen, you'd know exactly what to do, and that kind of thing.
Mm. Has her saying that more often on this trip made you reconsider your suspicions?
Yes. It's made me wonder for sure if this trip is about maybe her getting married or her offering me as a marriage bargain to some foreign prince or something. Or that kind of thing. It's made me be a bit more suspicious, and actually probably suspicious to the point where I might bring it up with Summer's character, actually. As
Yeah.
she does thinking and talking rather than the bodyguard who just bodyguards. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would
He
you have been
doesn't
like,
think. He would never plan anything.
You and
no,
what? Thinking that's not his purview.
empty-headed.
He's not
Yeah.
allowed to think.
Mhm.
If he was allowed to think, he'd be an advisor.
So did you bring about these suspicions in like a joking way, or were you like trying to more gauge my reaction, or what was the
think-
tactic there?
She'd try to get you alone. So
Mhm.
maybe you were by a stream doing some laundry or something, or taking a bath, and I would have come down to like, oh, I spilled this all over myself, clumsy me, I'll be back in a few moments, and then gone down to actually seek you out and talk with you about it, and how she's been a bit more distant and stuff on this leg of the trip.
Yeah, I
To
don't
be
think
away
I would have
from the others.
like I probably wouldn't have pretended to know like the intimate thoughts of the queen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would have been like, I don't know if it would have been suspicious to you or if it would have been reassuring to you that I don't seem to share your fears. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just kind of like brush it off like you're being silly. Like she's told us why we're going.
Probably a little reassuring, but still suspicious in the back of her mind.
Right.
Awesome.
Okay, Dylan, I'll draw you a card.
Thank you.
You're getting
Oh, you're getting all the juicy ones.
You're getting all these juicies.
The queen sometimes shows interest in your personal life. How do you respond
Sometimes.
to that? I respond to that coldly and with no response because she doesn't ask me. She asks people around me. Because I am obviously very uncomfortable with doing things like not the proper way. I'm very much like, I have a position. I am not a noble. I am a guard. I do not talk to nobles. I do what nobles tell me to do. And I think there was probably some frustration when I first got assigned to be a like royal guard on like the throne room or something. Some frustration where like she was trying to get me to talk more and I just wouldn't do it. I would like give her the shortest required answer and then like thank her for asking and shut up. And so she knows not to ask me but to ask like the other guards, or sometimes the servants in the castle, to find out information about my personal life.
So when I ask about your personal life, are you suspicious of that? Like, do you think I'm asking simply for the queen, or do you believe that I'm actually interested?
Ooh. Ooh, oh, that's a really good question. I think I'm gonna give you a bit of a non-answer here, and I'm sorry. I think I know you and the queen well enough to know which one it is.
Okay. Do you have a question, Lindy? You're muted.
'Cause you're crunching
You're just
pretzels.
munching.
Crunching and munching.
Crunching and munching.
These are really good pretzels, and I unmuted the Zoom call.
Well played.
What are you doing in your personal life? That's so interesting. It's got the queen asking.
I
Polish metal.
Ooh. Wait, what?
Polish metal. You're just taking care of your suit, you know.
Yep, yeah.
Guard stuff.
No, I think for a long time my family was my personal life. Like when I had time away from the castle, I would go home and like help my parents around the house. And then when they passed, there was a long time where I just did nothing. Like I would just sit in the barracks, and yeah, I would just like I would polish my armor, and maintain my weapons. And when I ran out of that, I would do it for my friends and like take care of their equipment because they weren't taking care of it, and I needed something to do. But recently, like in the past couple months, I think there have been rumors that I've sort of fallen for someone, and I've been doing a lot of stuff. Like nobody knows who it is, but I've been doing a lot of like asking my fellow guards that are like already married, like, so how did that go for you? Like, how did you meet? Like, what did you say when you first tried to like express your interest? I've been doing a lot of like setup actions.
How date?
Yeah. And that's pretty new. And I think that's sort of the first signs of life.
Good.
So no one knows who this person is, but what are the rumors about them?
The rumors are that I have strong feelings for someone who is close to the queen, but they can't quite decide which of the two of you it is.
Cool.
Lindy, have you heard these rumors? I don't think I have.
I don't think I have either.
Nobody wants to tell us.
No one wants to tell us. That's the best part.
We probably get asked pointed questions about the guard, and we're like,
And
why
we're like,
the fuck
what?
do people keep asking me about the guard?
They don't want to tell you because they know if they like picked the right person and I found out, I would be so mad.
So mad.
Yeah.
So it's always like,
oh,
how's the queen's bodyguard doing? I'm like, oh, I guess good
You would
luck.
destroy their life. You'd be like, queen, I'm sorry to report that this person are all traitors and need to be exiled immediately. Any more questions, y'all?
No, I'm good. That was
Okay.
great.
Yeah. Same. There's someone else in this retinue you love beside the queen. How and why are you keeping a secret?
Oh, man.
Yeah, I think it's Dylan's character, the guard. How I'm keeping it a secret is by keeping my fucking mouth shut.
But why?
Um,
I've got a question. I'm just waiting until you're done.
because I don't trust him.
Mm.
I don't think I know about this like planned ambush or anything. But there's been things that have been happening, maybe specifically about the way that the queen talks about him. And even like when we're alone together, me and the queen is careful about what she says about him. And I love the queen, obviously. And I trust her opinion of people. So I think I'm trying to get over it, basically. Yes.
How have your eyes and body language betrayed you? At least to my character. About your crush.
I think that. Ooh.
Yeah, how do I know
think
you got that crush?
Because so we've known each other for like probably like a little over, more intimately over a year. Because that's when you and the queen started doing it.
Yeah.
but I've known you since your father was executed, because that's when you started getting closer to the queen. I think at the time I was engaged. At the time that your father was executed.
Okay.
And I think that. So you don't know that I was part of the suggestion that these people be executed. I think my fiance was also part of the same group that was also taken out. All secret. But I think that you see the way that I look at the guard now is the same way that I looked at him.
Okay.
You've noticed it's just kind of like a slight change in like body posture. It's more like more
the way
angled.
You offer him his coffee in the morning and
that
kind of thing. Okay.
Full scoops of soup where you get half. You don't realize I'm being cold to you because you think I'm just being generous.
You're just being sweet to him. Yes.
Yeah, but you've definitely noticed that I'm acting the way that I did.
Okay.
Maybe just a little bit like more ditzy, if that's possible.
Yeah.
Just like, just a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe, and I think that's maybe why you don't suspect that I would have anything to do with your father, because it would mean that I was also responsible for the execution of my own fiance.
So, you keep checking in with my character, right? Like that's happened on several of these cards. Is this why?
I think it's both. I think the queen is. I don't think she's asked me specifically to ask you questions. I think she has voiced interest in things going on in your life. And I'm like, I tell myself I'm doing it for her. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, she's interested.
Really,
so I have.
For you.
Yeah. So I'm asking the questions that I'm echoing the queen, telling myself that it's for her. But it's secretly for me. But denial is strong.
So, how do your feelings change when I break down for the first time and I don't tell you what I've done, but I tell you I've done something wrong and I don't know what to do?
Ooh. They definitely change, but I don't know that it gets more complicated. I don't know that it lessens at all. It just has, because I was suspicious of you, but then this is a confirmation of that suspicion, which makes me feel like maybe you're going to fix the situation, whatever it may be. And And so it's just made it worse. Like, it's just made it worse
Yeah.
in a lot of different ways.
Love it.
Yeah.
Man. I'm good.
I'm done.
Draw a card, Lindy.
All right, fuck me up, card. Let's go.
Get fucked.
Oh man, what promise did the
fuck.
queen make to you before this journey? Do you think she'll keep it? She promised that I will be married by the end of the year. And it's it's autumn, so it's pretty close. Do I think she'll keep it? Yeah, but to whom, I don't know.
I don't think I have any questions here.
Okay.
I was gonna say, what was it that I said that confirmed you're like, oh yeah, she's gonna keep that promise. Like, maybe some offhanded remark that you were like, oh, she is gonna keep that promise about me getting married.
You asked me something about my favorite colors. Just as an offhanded remark. I was like, oh snap, wedding colors. But for which
What's
wedding
your dress
party?
size?
Yeah, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome.
She promised I'd be wed.
Dylan, I will
Mhm.
draw you a card.
Thank you.
You are literally, this game wants you to realize the big mistake you've made.
Oh no, I know. I know. What do you do that pleases the queen on this journey?
I don't know, not betray her.
I Summer with the winking. Ooh. Oh. I've got parts of ideas. I'm working on it.
Last time I got this question, I was the king.
Yeah.
So
Ooh.
it was very appropriate.
I think it's she sees me picking flowers along the route and pressing them in a book. And I think this thing that I'm doing is sort of an amalgamation of many different gestures that I picked up from my buds when I was asking for help and advice. But she notices that all of the flowers that I'm picking, while they're different flowers, are all the same color, and it's your character's favorite color, Summer.
Black.
Jesus.
Just kidding. Does she mention it to you? Like, does she say, I see what you're doing there?
I don't think so. I think we've established that our relationship isn't that direct.
Things change.
But I think she does start pointing out flowers to me as we go. Where she'll like comment offhand, like, "Oh, look at this bush over here. Isn't it lovely? Ah, what a wonderful kingdom we have." And stuff like that to draw my attention.
What a
to
wonderful
things.
world I rule.
What about your flower picking draws the eye of Summer's character?
I think you noticed that I was doing this, and probably just thought it was like a weird thing that I did, because I don't think we've ever traveled together, certainly not for this long, and not in a context where it would my actions would be this obvious as the group is so small. But I think what draws your eye about it is that I stopped doing it once I have that conversation with you.
Cool. Okay, I'll draw the next card now. Goodbye.
Oh,
I'm gonna X this card and go to the next one.
yeah, we pretty much know that one.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
The queen had you punished once. What about that what about the memory of that will stay with you forever? I think she, for less than 24 hours, kicked me out of the castle. I think she immediately felt bad. And I think it was because it's the first time that she ever thinks I gave her the wrong advice. And it was about the execution of your father and my fiance and that in group. I think like directly after she felt like she had made the wrong call. And she was angry at me because while I don't think I manipulated her, she felt that I had. She felt that I had used my position to manipulate her. She was maybe like accusing me of being unhappy about the marriage I was entering and like all of this like petty personal stuff that didn't really have anything to do with it. And she had me kicked out of the castle. She was like, "You're done here." And like obviously somebody came and got me and she apologized later. But I think the thing that stuck with me the most was that I was also like deeply in grief. Like having actually been in love with the person who I was engaged to. Mm-hmm. And she like I gave her an advice that was very hard for me to give her based on what I thought was best for her and for the country. And she had me punished when I needed her, like when I needed her friendship the most. And I felt very alone in that moment of like leaving the castle. And I think it was very public too. Like you both probably would have seen it.
Mm-hmm. Looking back, do you feel like that punishment was appropriate? Do you feel like you made the right decision on that?
I don't think I've ever for a second doubted or regretted telling her to do what I did.
Okay.
I felt like the punishment was unjust. Okay. Because I felt like the advice was good.
Was good. Okay, cool.
So beyond like reversing the decision, right? That's the barest of minimum and like apologizing for it.
Yeah.
What has she done to make it up to you?
I think that's probably when she really started pulling me more into her inner circle. Like maybe before she had come to me, I think the reason she came to me on this is because she was very emotionally torn over what to do. And she wanted like a friend's opinion, like a friend's advice. But I think that she started to try and show me that she valued my opinion outside of just like superficial decisions for the kingdom. And that's like probably when I started like being her duplicate for certain things. She started trying to like show me that she valued my presence, inviting me to more, probably like a little bit more superficial, like upgraded my room, like things like that. To be like, you're more than just this maid to me. You're somebody important to me. And I think the most notable thing is she's never, even if she's personally thought it, she's never expressed disappointment in any advice I've given her since then.
How did this experience make you really feel like, regardless of any blood connections or lack thereof, that you are sisters?
I think she started calling me sister. Like, just flat out. And maybe that's where the rumors got really, really fucking bad.
Did she know about the rumors and do this anyway?
For sure. For sure she did. I mean, I've heard them, so I definitely would have said, you shouldn't call me sister. People will get the wrong idea. And she's like, fuck those people. So I think that, and it has stuck with me forever, but I forgave her for what she did. Like, I'm not holding on to that. I don't hold any, ill will towards her because of that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think I was going to get picked up on the microphone until it did. I saw the light and I was like, oh, snap.
Just sipping tea. It's fine.
How's the tea?
Yeah.
It's good water. Stay hydrated, bot.
Yeah. Stay hydrated, kids.
Okay. Any more questions?
I'm good.
About this hard card?
No, I'm good.
Just cycle back and forth between the wine and the water.
Double fist them.
Okay, it's your turn.
All right, sure. Let's see. Come on, card. What you got? Ooh. The queen knows something about you that no one else does. What is it? Okay. Queen knows that I am technically a bastard child. No one else knows it because that secret died with my mother. She died before the ducal beheading did. So.
What was done by your family that means you don't know this about yourself?
Ooh. So most of my family doesn't know. The only person who did know was mother and the lord from a foreign country, not the one we've been at war with, but the third party. And they made sure that all the proper documents were forged, all the right people were paid the right amount of money, people who wouldn't accept money were taken out of the picture, etc. And the queen knows it, but she hasn't told me that I'm actually secretly not the 8th child of a duke, but the only child of a foreign lord.
Foreign king, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. The plot thickens.
No further questions.
Okay.
I'm trying to decide if I have any further questions. No, I think we're Gucci. Okay, next card.
What do you do for the queen that no one else can do?
Wink.
That is not the relationship
That's
we
sweet.
have, Summer.
Things change, Dylan. Things change.
Well, she ain't getting any D from me, so.
X and different card. X and different card.
You can also pass.
'Cause-
I will
okay.
remind you.
I guess that's true. Yeah, I am curious what your answer to this is, Summer.
Okay, well, I started
Rip.
trying.
Oh, no.
Okay, so we'll just leave that to the side for now. There's a part of you that does not want peace in this land. Why are you attached to the war? I'm afraid she won't need me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. I don't think I'm necessarily like a. It's hard. I think the war is like part of it. Yeah, I think that I'm worried that once the war is over and once this alliance is brokered or whatever comes to be, that the advice that she came to me for will no longer be necessary because we'll have peace. And her decisions will be a lot easier. So I'm nervous. And I don't want to lose what I have.
So, knowing that that your proximity to the queen gives you some level of respect, even if it doesn't bring a title, and knowing that her death would perpetuate the war, when I finally tell you what I've done, do you encourage me to stay the course and see my plan through, or to find a way to fix it?
No, I think I tell you, you have like a month or like however long we've been traveling. And if you don't tell her, I will.
All right.
And Lindy, I'm Xing this card for you because we already know you're fucking beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like,
They
oh,
could pass it to me.
Yeah, that's true.
no, I think you're a very nice, handsome bodyguard for Summer's character to love. So, what is something you do for the royal family that has prepared you well for this journey? Huh. I think that she does a lot of the face, the chatter, the talking with people we pass through in countries for. She's done that a lot especially since her father was executed. The queen kind of consoled her and took her in and had her practice being a diplomatic face. And so whenever we enter a town or something, I'm the one who goes talks to the innkeeper or whatever and cures rooms and stuff and mediates things. And so that's mediating for the court's a lot harder than mediating on the travel. So that's prepared me well for this. This is a cakewalk comparatively.
So given your suspicions for why you've been brought along, why wasn't this your first guess? Like, why did you assume that your inclusion in this journey was that you were to be married off rather than that you were useful?
I suspect that the queen's not telling me something. She was looking over some documents. She received a carrier pigeon message from a foreign land, and usually she's quite content to share everything with me, but she wouldn't share the contents of that message. And right after that is when we started planning for this journey. So I think she's not telling me something, and that's why I don't think I'm here just for that, because there's plenty of other people in the court who could do this simple party face aspect. I suspect I'm here for other means.
Do you think like your ability to negotiate could potentially save you if you did talk to the queen about your suspicions? Like, does that even cross your mind? Like, if I just told her what I'm feeling.
I don't think that thought's occurred to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she's used to negotiating pretty much everywhere else in her life but that aspect.
Okay, so what do you say when my character suggests that you're just honest with her? Because you did talk to her about it, like, at the river that day.
Uh-huh.
And I see you, like, negotiate for, like, stay
Yeah.
somewhere. And I'm like, why don't you just talk to her?
I think her jaw kind of drops. She's just like, well, she's already got her mind made up, maybe? Well, maybe she's planning on having me negotiate when we get to where we're going. I don't know. She's a little flabbergasted.
Yeah.
Like, that thought never occurred to me.
Yeah.
I've been stressing out so much.
Would that make you more likely to talk to the queen? Or do you still just, you're like, I want to play this out and see what happens?
I think she considers talking to the queen, but she's a little chicken in that respect because, like, it's just not. She doesn't want to have that conversation with the
Yeah.
queen. So she's kind of just like, I guess I'll just sit here and wait to see what happens. But she definitely thinks about it. She thinks if the right moment comes up, she'll bring it up.
Mhm.
But she's not going to say anything unless the opportunity presents itself.
For
She's not
sure.
going to bring it up.
Well, I'm good. Ready for the next card?
Do it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Dylan?
Yep.
Oh
I knew
no!
I knew it.
The queen
I
is
felt
under
it in my
attack.
bones.
You felt
Do
it in your
you
bones.
defend her? We each answer this question, so Dylan, you'll go
Okay.
first. Do you defend her?
I do.
I do.
Should I give more context? Or do I just answer the question?
You can give as much context as you want.
So I think I realize, like, as I'm going to tell her that it's already too late, that that the people I had sort of riled up, this rebellion I had made,
Mhm.
had gone rogue. Basically, they made their own plan, and I
Yeah.
saw the first signs of it. And so I handed you the book with some innocuous, like, hey, can you hold on to this for me for a moment? And then I went to the queen to make sure I was as close to her as possible when it happened. And like let her know immediately that she was in danger.
Lindy, do you defend the queen?
Yeah, I do, Summer. I defend her. I actually go try to rally some local guardsmen to help defend the queen. I try to negotiate. I'm like, look, these people are rebels. They don't understand. This is a mission of highest priority. And I negotiate for kind of like a parlay so that blood isn't spilled for no reason. Like, we're all fellow countrymen. We don't even know what's going to happen at this meeting. We haven't gotten there yet. Like, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I definitely defend the queen. I think that when your character hands me the book, I know something's fucking wrong. And I think that my character is killed because they think that she's the queen.
I hate it. Am I allowed to X that?
You can if you want to.
I kind of I want to. I don't like that.
Okay.
I don't like that. No. I don't think your
Wait,
character
no.
has done anything in this story so far to deserve that end.
I know, but I like tragic endings.
I know you do.
But she absolutely would defend the queen.
Mm-hmm. I think after negotiating the truce between countrymen, we go to the meeting, and then my character does get married off to the foreign prince to negotiate the peace treaty, so that way the land doesn't have to be given up. And I'm actually told what my actual lineage is, and it's kind of a shock, but it's for the best of all three kingdoms. So
Yeah, that's a good point. I think I don't want to speak for how the alliance goes, like how I mean, I'm sure that your marriage is definitely like instrumental. I don't know, like, does it end the war, do we think?
I think it does. I think it's sort of, it's both the way that the people I'd riled up are assuaged, and that no, we're not going to give away this portion of the country. This happens instead. But I feel like the peace, I don't want to say the peace is temporary, but I think it's made more complicated when your actual lineage is revealed.
For sure.
That you are related to this king of a different country.
How does your character's relationship to the queen change though, Dylan?
I go to
after this attack.
I go to jail.
Probably.
Like it's a kindness that I'm not executed, but I very much go to jail for a super duper long time, probably.
Yeah, I think my character refuses to weigh in on what should happen to you when the queen asks for my opinion.
So when you open the book and you see the pressed flowers, and on each page with the flowers is either a short lyrical poem or a memory of when you came and talked to me and you mentioned a thing that had happened to you that day, or that you liked. How do you feel?
Weird. I think it's like very bittersweet because she knows she knows you're probably going to be in jail for a very long time, and like the odds of them actually ending up together are pretty slim. So she's kind of just sad for the situation that we all find ourselves in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that she, like, her fears were for nothing about worrying about if the queen would need her if there was if there was peace. Like we've all known war for so long, that's pretty much all we've known, but turns out there's just as much negotiation and things that need to be weighed in on when there's peace as war. Yeah, and negotiations, then the people don't have something to rally against together. They can focus on how unhappy they are in their own lives. So yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, but that's it. That's for the queen.
I love it. That was so good.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, and there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12, 17 more cards.
Hot damn.
Nice.
That if I had shuffled the deck with this one later in the spread, if you want, I can start drawing them out, and you can see some of the other cards that are in the deck.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Okay.
This game's not successful unless someone goes to jail or gets assassinated. Lynn, I don't think you're wrong.
I love this question. I've gotten it almost every single time I've played, and it's probably one of my favorite questions.
Really
the mundane thing that you do that anyone could do that she asks you to do. Ooh.
Wow, I'm glad we didn't get that one.
You're right.
Do you see why she can turn out to be a total B?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we got a lot of cards that like could have been
this
taken
one
to be. Yeah.
We missed out on all of the ouchie ones.
Like, so what I like about a lot of
you said our queen was gonna be a bitch, Summer.
What I like about a lot of these is, yes, they could totally be taken to be like the queen is awful and horrible, but you could just as easily turn them around and make them about your character,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right?
And be like, this isn't
Yeah.
a reflection. It's not a true reflection of her. It's a reflection of yourself.
Yeah. And I really like that.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Save the queen's life once. How? Yeah.
Yeah.
Personal connection to the land you're currently traveling through.
Ooh, that's another
So you
really
want to
good one.
stay, and why don't you? Yeah. Yeah, I really liked how this went. I'm surprised in a sense at like, because there's so little structure to this game,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but there's just enough there. Please don't die, Lindy. It's against Twitch TOS for you to die on camera. So if you could just not, that'd be great. There's just enough structure there, and the questions are so pointed, and it encourages you to like afterward, like the other players to ask you questions about it, and take authorship in those questions. There's enough there for this to be an entire game, and I like that. I think I'd be really interested to watch lots of people play this game, because I think it will reveal a lot about the people playing it if they're not super self-aware, based on which queen card they pick and what answers they give based on that. Because I barely thought about our queen card throughout this, because I already had intent going into this game, knowing, like, having watched you play this before and seeing the queens that came out of it, I wanted our queen to not be a horrible person.
I had zero intent. Also, don't inhale water. It's real bad.
Yeah, no.
I've heard. That's the word
that's
on the street.
Water's supposed to get on the other one?
Yeah.
That
It's
was
supposed to
for
go on
air.
throat number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But look at this one. The queen is not your queen. Frickin'.
Oh man. Well, I mean, technically she wasn't my queen, but I just didn't know it. But I had zero intent going in, because every single time you've played for the queen, I've had something crazy happen in real life, and I'm like, no, I missed it. So I had zero intent, and I was like, oh, she's pretty. Let's go with that queen.
Yeah.
So
I think that
blind.
the queen card can really drive, though, how your queen turns out, because we did let's see if I can find I'm gonna recall the queen cards.
Yes.
I can't find them now.
You can draw
So
some.
rude.
How
There
many
we
queen
go.
cards are there?
There we
Oh,
go.
Okay.
Dog queen. There's 12.
Okay.
I've played with her.
I liked her. I was kind of like, ooh, her.
She was scary.
She
But we
looks
loved
awesome.
this is the one. This chick right here. She was our like nicest queen that we had. She was not a bad queen. Like, she really, really wasn't mean. She had mean aspects of her, because these cards they ask you to say what brings out the queen's cruelty. Like, they ask you these very pointed questions about, or like, who did the queen kill that you loved? Like, all of these questions that can show you the darker side of a queen. But she wasn't a bad person. She was like a good queen at the end of the day, like a good person. But this bee,
I mean that
got us all kinds of fucked up.
I mean that in the sense that it exposes players' biases in how they might answer a question differently for this queen versus the one that we chose, because all you have, literally all you have, is a visual, and so if you're playing to that visual, you're revealing what you think about.
I'll smooch all the
people like
queens.
I mean, absolutely.
Yeah, this one got smooched real hard by a lot of us.
Oh,
That
good.
surprises me not at all.
I've played her card twice, and both times she was kind of a bee. But the second time was when I got the first card, and it was, why does the queen trust you? And I was like, because I'm the king, bitch. And then was like, I'm on this journey because we're married. Like, and we had a lot of revealing moments because of the way the cards she was like kind of a B up front, but then we started digging into cards about why she was the way that she was and like how deeply sad she was,
Mm.
and how she was like acting to put on a front, which I mean, there's just so many things. I just love this game so fucking much. It's been totally different every single time I played it.
Mhm.
I love hearing all of the answers that people give and the questions that people ask each other.
Mm-hmm.
The leading questions. And we could shuffle the cards and play again right now, and it would be totally different.
Yeah, absolutely. So going back to that queen card, the scary queen. If
Mhm.
there were a dictionary of RPG streamers, that would be the picture next off the table. Absolutely. Let's be real. Like,
yeah,
that is
love her.
the brand distilled.
yeah. One of the
Um,
queens that I really want to play with is Horse Queen. I need to find her.
Horse Queen. Oh yeah, I remember.
And then just Queen, the
talking
actual
about
queen.
Horse Queen. Yeah.
Horse Queen.
Horse Queen. She's cute.
Um,
She looks kind of sad, but she's.
I
I really like this old lady queen here too. I didn't
know,
really
the
notice
queen
her much
queen.
written
The queen
initially,
queen- yeah,
but
that's
I like
the queen.
the
Yeah,
actual queen. Yeah.
yeah.
I really want to play Starcrossed now, Summer, with our two characters at some point. I wanna do that.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Yes.
To plug another Alex Roberts game.
Yeah.
I'd play. I want to play Starcrossed with my character and someone who I have no idea who it is, and they're the prince from that country we've been at war with.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
This game is so perfect for, like, we talked about this when we were playing a few weeks ago about how I would gladly throw any of these characters into a hat and pull them out and play them full time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just so they're so interesting and different, and like every single time I'm always like, I would play a long-term campaign with any of these people, including I would love to play the queen. Like, that's such a complex character too.
Yeah.
Something that Katie and I are definitely talking about working on is doing a queen deck,
Oh.
where if you play with four, like at least three people, you can't play with just two probably,
Mhm.
but at least three people, there would be a whole separate deck that would have queen questions. That would be these questions, but reversed. So like you could have like, who do you think is the queen's favorite? Why do you think you're the queen's favorite? And who's your actual favorite? Like you would get the perspective
Yeah.
of the queen
I like that.
as a
Although-
separate deck.
I kind of like that the whole party shares authorship of the queen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that's really cool. I think there's a lot of these games, and I don't know if they're new or if I'm just discovering them. But there are a lot of these games that I feel make really good setup for long-term games. Like this one, Starcrossed, is another one where like you play that and you're like, I would play this character in. Like Lauren and I played a game of Starcrossed, and those characters are going to be NPCs in any Tales from the Loop game that I run ever, because they're awesome. And Dialect is another one where it's these setting building games where the game asks you questions and then you sort of ask the game questions back, and in that middle space a setting and a set of characters get built. I think a lot of these games are happening now that feed
The Quiet
into
Year.
that feed into long-term campaign games really well. I also like I have to make a Kickstarter update tomorrow, and I'm going to mention this game because For the Queen is such a masterclass in asking pointed questions about characters and setting that anyone who's at all like even vaguely confused by the test failure structure for Become should just play this game, and then they will know. Like, absolutely. This is it.
Jolie and I were talking about how it's playing a game like this once changes the way that you play other games. Like it's one thing when you're reading through Urban Shadows and it tells you to ask questions of your players. After you play a game like this, that becomes a lot more apparent why and questions like that can be important. And like I think it's really good on like teaching you how to pull people out of their shells too. If you have quieter players, just asking asking those leading questions of like, well, how does that situation make you feel? Like just the most basic questions. And Jolie was talking about how he found himself asking those questions of other characters, like of other people playing Urban Shadows, which is like, it's so great to have those moments to find out what characters are thinking. And I'm a huge fan of metagaming, so I love shit like that.
We should play this
finding
with
out
the
what's going on
Fernbest
behind.
crew.
Yeah, I agree.
But we're over time, so we should
Yeah.
probably close the stream. I don't have ending cards for this show, so I'm just gonna say your name and you can talk. And we're gonna start with you, Summer. Where can people find you playing For the Queen or other amazing dramatic games?
Yeah, you can find me a couple different places. You can find me here every other Saturday and every Sunday. Ryutama on Sundays, and then every other Saturday playing Dungeon World, which my heart is ready. My heart was ready yesterday. I can't. I was like, it was like what? Because normally, like that's a game that I feel like is really good that I get some breathing space from it. But then sometimes you just have those moments where you're just kind of like, I need to know what fuck is happening right now. And it's been that way the last 2 sessions because we had the fucking zombie horde, and now mom love me.
Mom.
And you can find me on my channel at off_the_table here on Twitch. We are running games Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So yeah. And then Wednesdays, we're off to record, and we've been doing viewer games. We might be switching over from viewer games to do maybe Monster Hearts if I can convince literally anyone to run Monster Hearts. Because that's probably my favorite. It's probably my favorite game of all time. I love it. And I would run it, but I'm running Urban Shadows and Alas and D&D. So just keep it in your hearts, everybody. Tomorrow, we'll be doing Alas for the Awful Sea, which is gonna be boat time fun, and Dylan's gonna be there, so it'll be really, really, really good. First time actually you playing in my game. Get ready to get wrecked.
I'm scared.
Shipwrecked.
Hey.
Hey. Okay, that's it. Yeah, follow me on Twitter.
Awesome.
I guess.
And her Twitter URL is directly beneath her face, so you have no excuse to not find that. Seriously, just go. Lindy, how about you? I know you're a very busy person, but where can people be least confused and find your awesomeness?
Follow me on Twitch and Twitter. That's where I post most of the stuff where I'm going live. I'm Laugh Love Lindy on pretty much any social media platform. You can find me there as Laugh Love Lindy. I play in /DM around a dozen or so tabletop RPGs a month. And as much as I missed playing Ryutama, did I say a month? I meant a week. A dozen or so a week, but it's fine. I was thinking about how as much as I miss playing Ryutama, I've wanted to play For the Queen for a while because a couple people have told me the concept. I'm like, that sounds really cool. I'd love to try that. So I can cross that on my list of games I really wish I had time to fucking play, but don't have time to start another campaign. So I can cross that list off. Release that one off the list. But yeah, that's me. I play a lot of spooky stuff, which is odd because I can't handle spook at all whatsoever, but I'm addicted to it, so it's fine. Just follow me on Twitter. You'll see what I'm going live where, and it's great. It's fun. Yeah.
Awesome. And thanks to both of you for playing this game on sort of short notice tonight. And Summer for suggesting this in the first place.
I'll play this any fucking chance I get.
I was prepared to just be like, oh, I guess we're not streaming tonight. And then you came out with the brilliant idea of just playing this game. So, hell yeah. Thank you so much. And yeah, hello. I'm Dylan, aka Anarsis. You can find me here because you're on my channel. This is the place. But also on Twitter at Anarsis and on YouTube at Anarsis, where I'm really bad at posting VODs, but I'm working on it, okay? as freelance work quiets down, I find more time to edit videos and get them up there. And this one actually, this is gonna go up on YouTube. I'm just gonna cut it up into 2 videos on Twitch and then direct from Twitch to YouTube. I'm gonna cheat, which is what I do with my video game playthroughs. Speaking of which, yes, I will be on Off the Table tomorrow in the evening. I think at 5 Pacific. I think that's our time. That's our time. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I'm very organized. But also at 5 Pacific on Wednesday, I will be back here with some video game times. My house is empty except for me at the moment. The game that I was playing through was Prey, which is a survival horror game. We'll see how brave I'm feeling on Wednesday. I will either be playing Prey or I will be grabbing some friends and playing more Apex Legends on stream. But if you're interested in either of those, you should absolutely follow me on Twitter, but also hop on the Discord. Boom, right there. There's also a link right here that you can see and type, where we just yell about everything all the time, where we post vines of characters in various games. Oh, I need to find a vine for my character in this. Oh, I'm sure I can. But also we talk about video games. I've been screaming about Apex Legends in the gaming channel on there, just sort of nonstop. And actually, a very large a conversation is happening right now regarding the theme song of Apex Legends. We talk about games, like tabletop games. We have a channel where we talk about sort of brainy, thinky stuff. Lots of stuff. So if you like nerding out, come hang out. It's good times. And yeah, there's the Patreon. That's the wrong hand, Dylan. The Patreon, there we go, pointing that way, where you can support not just Ryoko, but all of my shows, all of my creative endeavors. And we just hit, I'm so excited, we just hit our first goal, because the Patreon is not structured around rewards go out to these pledges. So if you have this chunk of money, you get this reward. Instead, the Patreon is structured around, as we all come together and hit this certain funding amount, then I give rewards to everyone. And our first goal that we just hit is for me to do giveaways every month of my RPG assets, that being campaign maps and portrait token borders. So our first giveaway for that will be going live public on Twitter at the beginning of the next month. But our next goal, if we want to start pushing toward that, is for me to start releasing homebrew stuff from my games. So I have some homebrew classes for Ryutama that I've made, that those would go out. I have some homebrew moves that I've made for our Dungeon World game from Dust. And I really do I want the opportunity to design more things, but setting aside that time is time I'm setting aside for that instead of freelancing. So in order to do that, we need to hit that funding goal. If that sounds interesting, perhaps consider dropping some dollars there every month. But if you can't do that, I totally understand. That's why the Patreon is structured the way it is. I have spent most of my life being that person, and so I very much understand what that's like. But if you could consider sharing it on social media, that is a big help. And in helping the campaign move forward, you will also still benefit, because that is work that you are putting in, and I would like to reward that. So I think that's enough spiel for me. I'm out of words. It's late. I want dinner. And after I eat dinner, I'm going to go play more Apex Legends. So thank you all so much for watching. Thanks again, Summer and Lindy, for hanging out. But most importantly, have a wonderful rest of your night. Good night.